want to talk about here, what happened with OPEC. We just saw. Good morning, traders. I'm Michael Sabo, Senior Market Strategist with RJO Futures here in Chicago on December 6th. Bringing you some commentary here in the energy markets, and mainly going to focus on crude oil right now, as that's really been the topic in the market that a lot of people have been taking a look at after this recent run. Take a look at January crude oil futures this morning. We're trading up at around $50.67 a barrel, but that's off about a little over $1 here today. And I want to talk about here, what happened with OPEC. We just saw here recently, we saw them announce here that they supposedly have come to an agreement that we're going to see some production cuts here and freezes in their oil output from OPEC and also some non-OPEC countries. And you look at what happened with crude prices here. From the time they announced that deal, January crude was trading down around about $45-27 a barrel. And we shot up to a high yesterday of around $50 to 42 a barrel. So really saw a big move here, and a lot of that was mainly on this OPEC decision. The reality of it is, at least from my perspective, is that while I do think it is important, for the most part, I don't think that they carry the clout that they used to in the marketplace here. Naturally, the market made a reaction to it, but with where the levels that the market's trading at right now, I think prices are going to ease on back. Why? Well, historically, OPEC countries, while they've come to agreements and cutting production and maintaining quotas, historically they've actually overproduced over what their stated quotas were. And we're not going to see any of this stuff really hit the market here right now anyways. So when we look at near-term contract, what kind of real impact is it really going to have? And my thoughts here, little to none. When we take a look at Baker Hughes rig count, which I think carries a lot of weight here in the oil market here. Over the last several months, we've seen continued increases in the rig count, suggesting that we're seeing more oil being brought on here. Then when you take a look at our overall stockpiles for oil right now, we are running at historical highs. So week to week, we may see, some small draws or even some bills. But when you look at the total picture here, crude stockpiles are running historically high right now, suggesting here that we've got plenty of oil. Now, on a technical front, and I think that's what near-term and short-term traders really need to be focusing on the technicals here. We saw the market really shoot up, as I talked about earlier here. We saw some consolidation, starting to see the market lose a little bit of that upside momentum. We've seen lower low, lower high. Yesterday's price action, to me, really suggesting here that the market has a potential here to move lower, as we saw the market shoot up, make that high, fail, and actually reverse, and we're getting followed through with it here today. Also, when you look at on the chart, looking at chart patterns here, right now, oil prices, we touched up at around that $52.50 a barrel. It was right near highs that we saw very end of June, highs we saw in July, highs we saw in October, so suggesting that there's a lot of resistance up at that level. And then when you take a look at volume and open interest here, last 2 weeks here, we've actually seen open interest increasing. We've actually seen volume falling off here. And I think that should be a warning sign here to traders that are on the long side of this market, that the market could be setting up for the market to roll over. Now, I've got some ideas and some strategies on how you can play this, but I think traders do need to be cautious. Whether you're trading futures or if you're interested in looking at some option strategies, I think at these price levels, there's some really great strategies that one can put into play. If you'd like to hear more about them, feel free to give me a call, shoot me an email. We can certainly get into a lot more detail.